Then we've got the purple copy from the Japanese box set. Look, Jason's sitting there smiling. That's nice looking, isn't it? He's really contented.
I think his internet has frozen again, which is actually really funny. That's actually a really good face too. He looks like the evil guy in The Mask.
This cable guy's watching him.
Alright, Kiss Army. It's time to drop the needle, kiss my wax.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Kiss My Wax. I am Jason Herndon, and I am joined by Andrew Sgambati and Tom Shannon on your screen. Say hello, fellas.
Hello, fellas.
Hello, fellas. We're gonna stop saying the numbers of the episode because I don't even know what number we're on right now.
I've completely forgotten. So
the episodes now are just gonna be whatever record that we're gonna be talking about.
That's right. And speaking of, this week we're going to discuss Love Gun, and I guess Tom said there's a lot of information before we started recording, so it should be a good episode, and so we'll get going.
Anybody have anything they want to open up before we jump into this record?
Sure.
You're actually opening, Tom?
I'm not.
Or
that
have you
crazy.
pre-opened?
A couple of things. There's one thing I'm opening, but yeah, I don't actually open records. I don't want to be crying on the air if something happens.
Oh,
I like doing that. So.
Yeah, I don't live on the edge like that. Okay, all right. So, first thing I got here is from one of the members on our page, Michael Stone, and I was shocked nobody beat me to this. This is this is one of these odd things, you know. I'm curious how other people feel about these. So this is double platinum, and what's going on with this? And there's no point even trying to show it to you. It's got two label 4s on it. Okay, side 2 has a label for side 4 on it. So it's interesting, you know. I mean, to me, it would be a lot more valuable and probably more sought after if it was actually side 4 stamped on side 2, you know. But that's not the case. So, you know, I'm kind of curious how people feel about that, if that's something that, you know, they're interested in collecting. You know, I know years ago I got an ELO album, and I thought, oh, man, I've hit the gold mine on this. They had the labels on the wrong side. Either that or else they had two of the same label. So I kept it. You know, I was positive that's worth a mint. And, yeah, it wasn't worth squat. It was just one of those deals. But an oddity.
I don't look at those things as particularly valuable because it's easy to imagine how one of those, you know, they put those stacks of labels in a you know, compartment or something when they're pressing those records, and
there was no quality control.
Right, and so it's easy to see how that happens.
Yeah.
Though I think it's cool as hell. I would buy those. I just wouldn't pay a lot of money for them.
But now we're gonna have a picture of something in the book that's coming out that I do think.
Wait, there's a book coming out?
There's a book coming out, man. LP book coming out. But anyway, Tom Manning, one of our members, sent me a picture of it, and it is the first LP, which Tom Manning is the king of the first LP. It is a U.S. pressing of the first LP, and it's got two Hotter Than Hell labels on it.
That's cool.
That's I don't even know how you even find that. You know, I mean, how do you even notice that? But it's there, man. I mean, you can see the pressing in the dead area of the wax. So yeah. Now that's worth a bunch of money.
That's
I would
awesome.
think. I would think. Anyway, so that's one thing I got.
Did you say that double platinum was on our page?
Yes. He was asking. He said he wanted to trade some inserts. I had an extra rock and roll over sticker and pulled one of my merchandise sheets out of one of mine. I mean, I'll always find another one. So yeah, it's nice, you know, because we're both really happy with the trade. Then my friend Steve Allen had gotten an extra copy of this. It's a 12-inch book from Spain. Mm-hmm. Although it is this, some of the copies do have English in them. They got reprinted here not too long ago. Pretty nice quality.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was pretty happy to get that. Was actually kind of sweating out getting it because it seemed like I missed out the first time I tried to get it. And then have you guys got any books to open?
Any books you need any packages?
Okay, well that answers my question. So I'll go ahead and open mine. Got a nice little package here from Japan.
Wait,
yours
what?
came?
I just asked you if yours came, man. I was going to give you a chance to.
I bet my wife has mine.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Let me check my
on.
mailbox.
Oh, hell no. I'm opening it anyway. You go ahead and check. I'm going to open it.
Yeah, does he have my address?
He said he told me a week and a half ago that he sent them all to us. So I thought he sent.
I cannot read the front cover. I don't know what that's all about.
Mushi.
Our friend Alan from Japan with his Kiss in Japan book. This is the third pressing of it. And pretty cool.
Hold on. I'm going to check my mailbox right now. I'm going to check my mailbox. Yeah, I'm going to check my mailbox.
Bam! Son of a bitch!
The funniest thing about that is when I pulled it up to be like, bam, I saw Tom like scurry across the screen. So that's staying in. That's staying in.
Yeah, keep the whole thing in. I'm texting my wife, or keep all this in. It's funny. I'm texting my wife now and ask her if she's got a package for her. I bet she does.
Hey, Tom.
You have it?
Yeah, look.
You should have held up.
Don't you edit my part out.
Oh, hell no. The whole thing.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're gonna leave all this in, even when we step out.
Were you singing or something while we were both on?
I was texting my wife to see if she had a package for me.
Well, that's an intriguing podcast right there, man.
Look at that. Look at that. Tom Shannon with the win.
Alan said, I was talking to Alan because he had sold. I missed out on an Ace Japanese picture disc.
Yeah.
That I was bidding on that he was selling on eBay, and I was chatting with him offline saying, "Dad, I can't believe I missed it," and he was like, "Well, you still got something."
It's got a false front on it.
Right.
I didn't know
That's
that.
awesome.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. He was telling me, "Don't worry, you've got something coming in the mail from Japan anyway," and with a smiley face. I thought he sent all of our books to me. I thought they were all coming to me. So. Yeah. I didn't know.
Now, this is the way you do this, okay? This thing right here.
Yeah.
It says in the bottom of it, facsimile of Hype Flyer for Alive. So this is a reproduction of something that actually came. That's the way you reproduce stuff.
That's the way you do it.
If you're gonna reprint up posters, if you're gonna do crap like that, put something on there so people know what it is. Nobody gets ripped off and hurt that way.
All you got to do. Andrew's been opening his for 2 minutes.
I'm just jazzed, I'm jazzed. I'm making sure I'm opening it good, and this is cool, man.
You can drop that one on the floor and it won't hurt anything.
This is cool, man. So we got this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
I have no idea what that says, but cool. And this is cool as hell, too.
Yeah.
And I like it because, there's a couple little, it's a little folded at the bottom. That's okay, though.
Oh.
That's okay.
Stupid
How cool, though. Alan, thanks so much for this. We'll give Alan a big shout out. And, for anybody that hasn't, I don't even know if these are still available anymore, but if they are,
flash it across there, and I guess let's get his web address again.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and just flash that across there.
Write you a note down to put his book up and Kiss in Japan.
Of course.
My wife.
Thanks so much for that.
Yeah. My wife just texts back. She doesn't have mine, so I didn't get mine today.
Oh,
no. That's okay. Depressed. I just thought it was funny how Tom opens it, and then I can let me check my mail. And I was gonna check my mailbox before we started today too. But yeah. So Alan, thanks so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Don't cut any of that out. That was classic. Even the dead air for a couple of.
Well, the funniest thing, Tom, is when I came back on and had the package, I was like, "Bam!" I saw you scurry across the screen. So it was pretty funny.
Well, I was getting something else to blow your mind later, but anyway.
Later.
All right. Do you have any other new stuff?
No, that's it. That's it for me.
Okay.
You got some
all right.
stuff?
Well, I got a few things in this week. I'll start with, oddly enough, I had this my first time around, and it's the simple things that, you look in your collection with, 300 records or how many ever's back here and go, I can't believe I don't have this $10 record. But so I got that this week.
Yeah. I had to go back and get it.
That's Crazy Nights, right?
Crazy Nights.
Crazy Nights picture. Yes.
Yeah, I got that too. I got that.
I had to get that. And then our good friend and fellow moderator Pablo down in Argentina sent me a nice package of stuff. So we've got
Beautiful
Rock and Roll Over with the alternate cover. We'll talk about this a little later, but you can see that's got a different translation of Love Gun. I'll put that in this pile. This one, not the greatest condition, but pretty difficult to obtain. Anybody want to pronounce that? Creatures de la Noche?
Naco or something? I don't know.
De la Noche?
Pretty sure it's De la Noche.
I'm sure I just butchered it.
Yeah. And then we got an Argentina Destroyer. Okay. So I got that from Pablo, who sent it in a tank that took me about an hour to get into. And then with a purchase on our page, I don't think I showed. Anyway, this came, which is going to be a crowning jewel in my collection.
Very cool.
It's
not the content, but the actual record. The content.
I love this record so much. So anyway, it's complete and it's beautiful. It's dead mint. Probably the hardest one to obtain, and I couldn't be. Actually, a lot of members purchased a bunch of stuff for me that I put up in a fire sale, so I was able to raise enough funds to get this. So
I have to remember that approach. That looked like that worked okay.
It went very well, very fast. So thank you all for making that happen. That was amazing. So, but that's all I got because I don't have a book from Alan.
How cool is that, though, man?
That was pretty awesome. All right, let's talk about Love Gun.
Unexpected. Love Gun. Okay, June 1977. So, again, in true fashion, we're going to take a look at the TV ad for Love Gun.
Kiss, Love Gun, G, 60, Paul, Ace, Peter, Kiss, Love Gun on Casablanca Records and Tapes.
So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about a little bit what was going on around this time. A month before the album came out, they were in New York putting their blood in the printing ink of the Marvel comic, which, I don't know if you guys know this, but their blood never actually ended up in the Marvel comic. It was in like a Sports Illustrated or something. Yep. So it never ended up in the comic. But still, it was a cool thing. So it's my understanding, too, that the day that Love Gun was released, that the comic book was released as well, too.
That sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure. Now, what's the actual release date of Love Gun? I have June 77, June 30th, 1977. June 30th,
and that is the date that the comic was released.
Yep. So the comic book and the album came out on the same day. But let's just talk about what was going on in history at this time too. Obviously, the first thing that we want to talk about is this is the first time all four members sang on a record. Ace had a lead vocal, which shocked me. But Kiss had just finished their best-selling tour. The Rock and Roll Over tour had more sellouts than any other tour in the 70s. More sellouts in Dynasty, more sellouts than Alive 2, more sellouts than Love Gun. So, and if there's a great book that proves that fact.
I was just going to ask you. Do you have any written information?
That's where I got that from. They had more sellouts on the Rock and Roll Over tour than any other tour.
Interesting.
So, and obviously they had just come back from Japan, so Kiss was firing on all cylinders at this point. Kiss Army couldn't keep stuff in stock. There was a lot of cool toys and games and all that stuff coming out, and then obviously after this was the second live album that we'll talk about on another show. But so let's get into the record. Now, there are a lot of variations of this record, so I'm going to show the ones that I have, and then Tom can fill in any holes that I missed. But
what about me, you bastard?
Well, and then you're going to fill in the international. You know, Jason, we're gonna edit you out.
That's fine.
But
Something you didn't notice, but when you first started talking about Love Gun, maybe you didn't notice it, but my internet went out and I missed like 2 minutes of what you were saying.
Oh,
I didn't notice that.
I swear to God.
I thought you were just watching.
Steal?
Yeah. You're like, man, he knows his stuff. No notes. That's all just from here. That's all from the noggin.
You do know your stuff.
So there's the album cover, another painting by the great Ken Kelly, and which is cool. I actually have a lithograph of this painting that I purchased from Ken Kelly at a KISS convention. But let's talk about inserts first. We got the paper gun and the bang, which was cool. And let's also talk about Love Gun Deluxe, the CD that was supposed to be a vinyl that had a gun magnet. So it's still very cool. So then we had the order form where they advertise the Sight of Blood, which is the KISS comic, and then they have the KISS fire sale on the other side. They had the hot goods from the Supply Depot. So they still had the Destroyer / Rock and Roll Over Tour book. They had the New York City poster, which, if anybody has one of these, I want one of those. An original New York City poster. So you got
that one on the wall over there?
Yeah, but it's not for trade if it's on Tom's wall.
No.
Yeah,
it's not.
I have one, but it was rolled, and then like someone flattened it when it was rolled. And
does it have to be an original?
Yes, because I have a reprint. I have a reprint, and I knew, and the reprint I purchased for $11, so I knew it was a reprint. I would like an original. So what else is on here? We got some belt buckles and some logo shirts. And, just a lot of junk on the back of that. But
that is not junk. That is highly coveted KISS merchandise. That's filled up in that display case.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, this stuff pales in comparison to the comic book. That was what they were trying to sell. There's the whole page on the comic book for this thing. So.
Well, it was brand new.
Yeah.
And plus, they sold the ad.
Yeah, they did. Well,
Right.
All right. So then there was that cool sleeve.
Marvel paid a lot of money.
That's right.
Marvel did pay a lot of money for that. So we have a cool sleeve in here too. So now KISS firing on all cylinders. This is my favorite sleeve. So.
Oh, it looks familiar.
That does look familiar, doesn't it?
I don't know what that's from, but it's a great sleeve. So let's talk about the label. It's a custom label. Is this the first custom label, Tom?
Think so. Yeah.
Yes. So this will be the first custom label. So it's Filmworks label in the back, and then it has the actual Love Gun little cutouts on there. So that's, as far as initial pressings of that was really the only initial pressing. And what I mean by that is when albums would come out, they would obviously be pressed. Like, let's talk about the first KISS album, for example. It was pressed with the Warner Bros. Label. Then it was pressed again with the Bogart label without the address, and the Bogart label with the address. This one really, this one doesn't have that. This one just has this. This is the only one that came out there. There really weren't any other variations. So
perhaps.
Perhaps. So the next thing that I got, and I actually wasn't going to show this. Let me get this here. I actually wasn't going to show this, but I found out that Mr. Tom Shannon does not have a copy of this. This is the RCA Love Gun. Yeah. So RCA Music. So obviously it has RCA Music on the label, and then which you'll see rolling across the screen there. And then you see it's got RCA Music on the back of here. And I have two of these, so maybe one is going to show up in Tom Shannon's mailbox here pretty soon.
Yeah, it'd be a good trade item there, yeah.
So, all right, so there's that one. I also have the next one I got here is the 85. I don't have an 83, 84, so I have an 85. So obviously the only special thing about this is the barcode up there.
Perhaps.
Okay. And then obviously the label doesn't have, it's just a regular Filmworks label. So there's no, like mine doesn't have, there's no Love Gun on there.
Yeah. Polygram label.
Yeah, so the polygram label. So there's that. And then to finish up Love Gun, I have the 2014, which has the gun, has the sleeve, and is the 2014.
Do you have an error or a corrected copy?
How would I know?
Oh, that's. Do you have the numbers? Because that's what I meant to dig off my notes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Good. I was going to go ahead.
I have the open record, so I can give them out.
Oh, you know what? I may. Hold on. I may have it. If it'll help you from having to squint to read that. Let's see.
I thought I knew in my head what it said.
Oh, come on, dude. You know in your head. Okay.
I got it here, Tom.
You got it? Okay, go ahead.
All right, so what am I looking for?
Okay, you need to look on side. I believe it's on side 1, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, side 2.
Is it on side 2?
Side 2.
Are you sure, Tom?
Yes, because that's the side that Then She Kissed Me's on. What?
I was thinking that it said.
Now there may be something on side 1 also, but I don't think so.
Go ahead and say
okay, so what I'm showing on here, okay, for the glitch copy, the B side matrix is B002024701-B G-1RN. Okay, and then the B side matrix on the one without the glitch is B002024701-B, just like the other one, then G2.
All right, so this is a non-glitch.
Yes, and then there's like a wavy I sideways S or something is the only thing I can come up with it. Yep. So that's how you tell.
All right, so this is a non-error copy.
Okay.
Look at that. Learn something. Okay, so Tom Shannon, what did I miss?
Well, you had good coverage on it, man. Good coverage. What was, let's talk about this. This was kind of odd to me. Doesn't it seem odd that there was no kind of a promo EP for this thing?
Yes.
I mean, after 2, and it helped them with their sales so much, and then nothing for this one. And just as kind of a side story for me, I still remember the first time that I saw a promo copy of Love Gun. It really was the first time I'd even noticed promo records. It was at a record show, and I think I saw a regular copy in there for $10, and the promo copy was $15, and I was like, why the hell would anybody want to pay that extra money for that? I mean, to me, they were just like, it wasn't anything to covet. But obviously, I've come to understand better what the significance of promo copies are. Even though it seems to be a little bit of debate on the site right now, and I know this is somebody that Jason, as well, that's educated on this stuff. But what I'd always read from people in the industry and stuff, and it just kind of makes sense, is that the promo records are the first ones off the press. A lot of times they would be thicker. They wanted them to last longer because these things were headed for airplay. Now somebody that has posted a link to an interview with somebody that's in the industry now, and he says that that's not the case, that they oftentimes come off elsewhere in the press.
It's just a different world now because promo records aren't sent to radio stations. They are.
Exactly.
Radio does not use.
Yeah, they're not going to play them.
They don't use CDs. It's all digital.
Well, let me ask you.
So I mean, and there's no differences in labels. There's nothing like that.
Just scratched up UPC.
Promos now are going to people like me that work in the industry that don't want to pay for a copy of a record, and I contact my label rep and say, hey, can you send me just like you were getting your free copies of Hysteria stuff.
Right.
So,
let me ask you about the promo copy.
Uh-huh.
Are they always going to be gold stamped? Is yours gold stamped?
They're never gold stamped.
I mean, on the sleeve. On the sleeve.
On the sleeves.
Yeah.
You mean on the label?
No. On the actual sleeve. On the sleeve. Is there any?
I've never seen a gold stamped one.
Is yours gold stamped?
Well, I was going to ask. It is not gold stamped.
No, it should have the double cut corner just like that.
Yep.
Okay, so it looks like mine.
And in fact, after all this time, I don't think I'd believe it if somebody showed me one with the gold stamp on it. I don't think I'd believe it was authentic.
Okay. So it looks like this one might be a Frankenstein. I mean, you don't know. This one is not. This one is not a cut corner, but it is certainly a promotional copy.
Yeah.
Certainly a promotional copy. Is your It's pretty much not popped. Is your gun not popped like that? Because I have my gun's pretty.
Yeah, mine's not popped.
Yeah, mine's pretty nice. And you got the bang too, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Bangarang.
Yeah. Interesting tidbit about the 2014. I had to pay somebody $25 to give me a scan of that gun. Unbelievable to me. Well, they were going to go like the European copies and not, which I think I've got one here that I can show in a minute. Or Jason, you can show yours.
I don't care.
And it doesn't have the whole card on it, and so they wanted to do the whole card, and so I was looking for a scan of the entire card, and it kind of held me up. But that's okay. All right, so
had you known me back then, I would have sent you mine for nothing.
And you know what? I should have had one myself anyway that wasn't popped out, but I didn't at the time. Okay, so let's put to rest, because it's a common misconception that the only first pressings are going to have the band on the label.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look at that!
Not true. I've had probably 4 copies of this. Absolutely convinced they're first pressings, or let's say, this thing was pressed in '77, and there was no change until '83. Mm-hmm. And you may have been able to notice subtle changes on the pressings in '79, perhaps. But really, they weren't selling that many copies of Love Gun from '79 on. But somewhere between '77 and '79, there were copies that were pressed with just a regular Filmworks label. That's not a Polygram Filmworks label. There's no number on that. There's no pressing plant number on that label, so it's not a Polygram.
Now, Tom, didn't you mention earlier that there are copies of the Soul albums like that too?
Yes. I mean, I've got an Ace. I've seen a Gene. I'm sure that there's.
I have an Ace.
Yeah, the Ace seems not. I don't want to say common, but less
the most
uncommon
common of the.
Yeah, the most common of those. So anyway, so that's like I say, that's a legit thing. So that's a variation.
Yeah, I would love to have that.
Yeah, just keep your eye out, man. I'm shocked. They should go for way more than what they go when I find them.
Right.
I mean, they're just right there on eBay. Okay.
You got an extra one, Tom?
I don't now. I've traded them away. I don't think. I'll have to look and see. I don't think I do, though.
Take a look. Maybe we could trade RCA for that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Maybe use that RCA for. I mean, we're talking about an $8 album versus a $40 album there.
Okay, my bad.
Okay, let's see. All right. Now the next variation, and this was not this exact record. The Love Gun was the first record that I became aware of 83, 84 pressings. Somebody probably about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, over on another site, they posted this and they said, "What have I got here?" Somebody, they talked to a friend who said they thought it was, a short pressing somewhere that happened between 85 and 77, because here sits the Polygram Filmworks label on it. No picture of the band. But, other than that, it's still got the same catalog number, as the Filmworks. It's an MBLP 7057. And they noticed the 501 up in the top corner. And so, just started speculating at that point, what is this thing? I mean, couldn't quite nail it down. And whatever, I don't know, there were 3 or 4 of us that were looking at these things at the time. And then we started noticing a couple of others. And like I say, it finally worked itself into place when we found that Creatures. That Creatures, because of the short time frame and the way it came out, it kind of cemented what these were. Although, again, we had to get away from calling them 501s. That's an oversimplistic description of them. Yes, most of them say that on them. Most of these 83, 84 pressings say that on them. But there are some pressings from 79 to 83 that also have that 501 somewhere on them. But then they've got a regular Filmworks label, and some of those have got a pressing plant number on them. Those are a little tough to find. I'm not really ready to call that a pressing series yet. I think it probably is, but I'm not ready to call it that. I mean, somebody else got some information. That's great. So anyway, so there we go. So there's an 83, 84 pressing. Now let's talk about something really weird about this, and people never talk about this, and this is true. Well, let me show the 85 also. So then we've got, the FilmWorks Label 3, which is the 85 pressing, which is going to have the UPC printed on the back cover, and then essentially looks like the same label, but it's not quite the same label.
You always say it's lighter, right? The 80.
The 83, 84 generally is. If you were here looking at with me right now, you would see a difference in those.
I've seen it because I have
clearly see.
Yeah, I have some records. I have some records like that where I can clearly see. Like I have Dynasty.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm not sure you can see it on the screen.
I'll see it on the screen.
That's all I'm saying. You definitely can tell the difference when you're here.
I could definitely tell when you held them up.
Right. Yeah. So years ago, I used to, when people talking about so many different variations and stuff, and people got all giddy because it was like, hey man, there's some rare copies of Love Gun that have got Ace Frehley's name misspelled on the credits for Shock Me. And sure enough, it says Ace Frehley on it. Okay. So that's on the 83, 84s and the 85s. Well, I guess nobody was playing the damn things. That's the only thing I can figure, because it's way more screwed up than that. This is true for 83, 84s or 85s. All right. So the A-side label on these starts with I Stole Your Love, Christine 16, Plaster Caster, Shock Me, and Tomorrow and Tonight. But it doesn't play that. It plays I Stole Your Love, Christine 16, Got Love for Sale instead of Plaster Caster, Shock Me, and Tomorrow and Tonight. So Plaster Caster and Got Love for Sale are not, they're switched on the sides. So the label's wrong on the B side as well. Okay? They're all like that.
I know. I'm looking at mine right now.
Yeah. It's the way it's written, right? Yeah. They put it on the turntable. That's why I was late getting on here. I was confirming that, making sure, it's kind of what I'd always heard, but I just wanted to write it down. So
Andrew can't confirm that.
Hey, fuck you. I bought one. I bought one. And
it doesn't work.
I bought one. It doesn't work.
Well, you can find somebody that'll work on it, man. I mean, my stuff didn't work when I bought it either. Now, let me open these because I can't remember right off the top of my head as far as what the inserts are. Obviously, there's no guns. There's no merchandise sheets in these, in the 83, 84s, or 85s. So we got that sleeve in 83, 84. And then, of course, in that series, Rock and Roll Over, though, got the Love Gun sleeve. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. That seems all kinds of messed up.
I got it. I got that one.
Let me set this off the side. I don't want to. Y'all didn't hear that record just hit the ground, did you? I didn't cry either, man. I didn't cry. The 85 has, I think it does have the Love Gun. Or I could be completely wrong. No, apparently that came with just the plastic on, or at least that's all I've got. All right, so we've got those. Put those separate. Okay, let's see. That's just my that's just my regular copy with the Love Gun label. Okay, yeah. This is odd, and I haven't really figured this out. Okay, so I've actually got two 85s.
Okay,
and they're both U.S. pressings. They're both U.S. jackets. One of them I got from Greece. Somebody lived in Greece, but he said it was a U.S. and everything looks to be U.S. But one of them, the catalog number on the label is MBLP 7057, and the other, the catalog number on the label is 422-824-151-1.
Weird.
So yeah, really weird. So I really haven't figured out what's what on that. I don't know. I don't know if that, it's hard to say what was going on then. Maybe they got pressed just to go overseas. I don't know. I don't see any markings from Greece on it, so I don't think it's don't think it's that big a deal. That same seller, well, no, I won't even get into that. Never mind.
Edit her out.
Edit.
Yeah. So then, of course, I've got my 2 copies of Love Gun, one with the glitch, one without. I was very fortunate, even though these things I opened these to find them. But I was very fortunate. I've got a couple of sealed that I know have the glitch in it because my guy at Universal got a hold of me, I don't know, a few months after everything stopped and said, hey, we got these damaged Love Guns. Do you want a couple of them? I said, what's damaged? He said, oh, they got some kind of glitch on it or something. I said, sure, man, I'll take it. So I got a couple of them sealed that I know that they're glitches, which who knows how that's going to play out one day, you know? It's hard to say what's going to be valuable and what isn't.
There's no way those glitches will be valuable. That was the whole entire first press.
Okay. How many do you think they pressed? See, that's what I don't know. No. I bet they're small numbers, man. I'll bet you they have not pressed as many of these records as what anybody's got in their mind they've pressed.
Well, just from my experience, I can tell you that when a label wants to indicate that something is limited, and everything is limited now as far as vinyl is concerned, nothing stays in perpetual print.
Right.
And they are small numbers, but they always tend to tell us, the labels always tend to tell, I work for a vinyl distribution company. They always tend to tell us a number if it's particularly small. And those numbers tend to run between 2,500 and 5,000. And those numbers were not given to us on the KISS presses. Okay. I would guess that they did about 10,000 a piece of it.
Yeah, which is not many.
Well, that's about average these days.
That's a pressing for symphony, and you see what those go for. See,
right? But that's about average for today's vinyl market. Because it's rare that any vinyl record moves over 100,000 units. It's very, very, very rare. Yeah. Only a couple of releases have done it. But I would say, just in my professional guessing, that the first run on those was probably around 10,000.
That sounds about right.
Each. And they probably adjusted for particular records. Destroyer and Alive probably have higher pressings than, say, Peter's solo and all that.
I was going to say, just like all the rest of the Peter Criss releases, there's your rare one. I don't know why, but there's your rare one.
Yeah. So anyway,
all right. That's all I got for. Yeah. Go ahead. That's all I got for U.S. stuff. So why don't you guys show what you got in the way of foreign stuff?
Well, you can show too.
I actually don't have anything in foreign for Love Gun. Funny enough.
Huh?
I don't have anything foreign for Love Gun.
Okay.
Well, I'll show.
Nice. Yeah.
Dutch numbered picture disc.
Had that at one time.
Original West German.
Cool. No gun in that, right? No insert?
Well, not that I'm aware of.
All
right, we'll come back to this one because it's. Well, I showed this earlier. Tom, you can show too. Got it from Pablo.
Yep.
And what's that? And where's that one from?
Oh, Argentina. Sorry, Argentina.
Wow, I thought you were gonna spend a little more time with that.
Oh,
this that sticker is pretty much on every one I've ever seen. I mean, I guess some that don't have it.
Don't mind.
Musical Express.
Yeah, back cover.
Yep.
It's hard to see all that. Anything else you want to say about that? You can talk too about it. Let's see. And then I've got. I forgot to pull this out. And then of course I have the VIP Japanese. No poster in this one. I don't. Maybe one day. So, but so that's about all I've got as far as foreign Love Gun goes.
All right.
What else you got?
Got a few here. Okay, so got two different variations from Columbia.
Is one just beat up and one not beat up?
No, they're not. They're not. These are actually pretty decent. No, the difference is the labels, and I think I've talked about this before. You would intuitively, I would think, well, that white label, that's got to be the rare one right there. And it's not the case. the initial pressing was with the color Filmwork label, and then the company that was doing the press lost the license to it, and so the next company just went with those white labels. And let me see who that was. And of course I can't read that. anyway, so there's those. No inserts or anything with those at all, obviously. I've got a plain Jane French copy. No red label on that, which the French releases. There's a nice series with the red labels on them.
Right.
I'm not even sure you can actually call those labels. They're not really labels. They're screen printed on.
Are they really?
Yeah. If you drag your finger across it, it's not paper. Okay. I've got the 2014 from Germany.
I have that too.
It does have the Bang on it. I wish they'd have put Bang in German though.
That'd have been cool.
Yeah, but it's got the German logo on the gun. Oh, good. I kept my finger over the voucher there. Didn't mean to inadvertently. That's a good live voucher there because I can't use the thing here in the U.S. I don't understand that. Why are we not allowed to download those?
Well, I can talk about how that is with the iTunes store, because once you identify your country basically tells you what content you have access to, and whomever is the ownership of that is going to know what country you're from based on your IP address. So
I understand all that. I'm saying why they're being dicks about it. I mean, if I bought it, let me download it.
I mean, if we want to be fair, they're being dicks about a lot of things, because how many times have I bought goddamn Love Gun?
No shit, right?
Well,
at least 3 times on CDs. At least 3 times on CD. At least 3 times on CD.
Cool.
Hey, that's actually really cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did that.
Yeah.
So
they did a good job. And actually, if you, I keep saying actually, I shouldn't be saying that over and over. If you wanted to get picky about it, I guess they shouldn't have had all this stuff in here. If they were replicating the original stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they did a good job with that.
Right.
I think they knew a lot of collectors in the U.S. would be willing to, pay to import the stuff. So I'm getting ready to bust that gun, so I'm not going to do that. Then I've got a Norwegian release with the Filmworks label, and then I'm got one more, and then we need to talk about something else about the records. And then I've got the jacket only for the Russian counterfeit one, and I'm gonna buy one of those white counterfeit UK ones and slide.
That's a good segue.
Just do it correctly, Just do it correctly. Okay, hey, we totally forgot to talk about the fact that this cover is not finished, and you hear different stuff from different people. Here's what I've always looked at. I don't think he finished Peter and Paul.
Well, I always say that the zippers weren't on Peter's legs, because that we all became accustomed to.
All right.
But what on Paul would you consider not finished?
The shoulder. They're missing they're missing both their shoulders. They should have both their shoulders there.
You don't think it's just the angle of how they were drawn?
And here's the main thing, and I have people say, no, that's not bullshit. That head is floating right there, man. There's no body attached to that head.
You're right about the floating head. I agree with you there 100%.
Yeah. There's people will tell you that's not true. No, it's in behind the smoke. Really? I can see the step.
Really, I can see the step.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right about that.
Yeah, the big thing are the shoulders on.
That's what I always thought.
Peter. Yeah,
that's what I always thought. So
here, I'll even do you one better. So look at and get out your calipers, micrometers, whatever you want. Get them out. So look at the artwork on the front cover and look at Peter's face on the front cover. Yeah. Now, get your glasses out, Tom. Look at Peter's face on the label. On the label.
Hey, he's looking up. You're right.
It's a different one. Peter and Paul are both different.
Paul also, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So you put them side by side. You can tell.
I never noticed that, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I want to see it. When did you notice that, Andrew?
Years ago.
Wow.
So you should have dropped that information randomly on the page sometime.
Well, sometimes I save stuff for stuff like this.
Keeping it to yourself.
Huh.
Right.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So there was at least 2 versions of that artwork done at some time. You don't know. I mean, don't know when. Don't know how.
They said, Ken, you're going to have to squint and redraw it because we need to stick it on this little bitty tiny label.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to singles. All right. So 2 U.S. singles off the album. And I'm gonna talk about them out of order here, because. So we got the second release was Love Gun, back with Hooligan. Not a lot of variations with it. You got a mono stereo copy of Love Gun. Not really difficult to find. Not an overly expensive record. As far as I remember right now, there's just one variation of it as far as the original releases.
Just the Filmworks?
Yeah, and there's a couple of different jukebox strips down there. And then from the singles box, and I will tell you right now, I had nothing to do with this jacket. I don't know what they were thinking about with that, man. Because there's almost the exact same photo in color off of another release. But anyway, so there's that. Then this one, boy, I'll tell you what, you got to be on top of your game on this one. Christine 16, back with Shock Me. All right, so this is probably the most variations of any Kiss single in the U.S. anyway. All right, so we've got a promotional copy that's mono stereo of Christine 16, and the time on it is 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Then you've got a promo copy of Christine 16 mono stereo with a time of 2 minutes and 52 seconds. All right, so 2 distinct ones there. Then it starts to get complicated. All right, so we'll start with, okay, so now we've got a Filmworks label of the 2, Christine 16 Shock Me, with Christine 16 being 2 minutes and 52 seconds and Shock Me being 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Okay, so there we go with that. Then we've got the same thing with a Camel label. All right. Now we move to back to the Filmworks label. Who's typing away there, man? What is that?
I'm telling Andrew something.
Okay. So here now we sit here. We've got Christine 16 Shock Me, where Christine 16 is 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and Shock Me is 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
So let me ask you this: is there any content difference, or are these strictly just label variations?
There's time differences.
So the actual content has been edited. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Content is different.
Yeah, definitely in Shock Me, there's some bizarre editing going on in that song. Yeah.
So now we got a Camel of that also. Okay. Now we got the super duper rare one, and but now this one, it's just mislabeled. The times, and I can't remember which is which. I time these all. This is not these times, but this is a Christine 16 at 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and Shock Me at 4 minutes and 17 seconds, and it's a Camel label. So basically, the short version of this is there are variations. I'm not going to say the names. Let's just do the times so it just flows easier. There are versions that are 2 minutes 52 seconds and 4 minutes and 17 seconds for the B side. And there are copies that are 3 minutes and 10 seconds and 3 minutes and 45 seconds for the B side. Okay. In multiple label variations. And then this, like I say, super rare one, 310, 417.
Okay.
And again, I can't remember which one's off, but one of those is actually off. So there's that. I don't have a lot of the foreign releases for that. I do have here's the German Bellophone one, which, again, like we've discussed before, not all the German stuff was censored label. This is a Bellophone pressing, and all those had I don't want to say all of them. I do think all of them had the regular label. And then, of course, we've got the copy from the box set, which is a reproduction of a French sleeve. So that's singles for it. And again, that's lots of them to collect there. And another one in that pile is actually a little tough. I don't know which one. I can't remember which one it is. I mean, I've had it forever, so, it wasn't tough for me. So that's it for the vinyl.
I thought it was interesting that each single release represented each member. So we had Paul and Peter's song, and then a Gene and Ace song. I thought it was interesting that.
Never really thought about that.
Never really thought about that.
That's right. Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it probably didn't happen very often. All right. So anybody else got any music stuff?
Got some 8-tracks.
Yeah, he's got those 8-tracks. He always throws those in there. I don't have any. I know I mentioned on a previous show that I just recently organized all my records. I don't know where I put my singles. They're in a box somewhere. I just don't know where they are. I think I have a Christine 16 Shock Me single, but unfortunately I don't have it to show. Maybe on a future episode.
All right. As far as ads for it, man, I'm sure there's more, but I don't have much. There's an ad for the comic as Andrew mentioned before this came out. Mm-hmm. Looks like the same day. I don't have the release date in front of me for the LP, but yeah, probably the same one. That's about a messed up logo on that. Who let that slip by?
Well,
it's horrible. It's horrible.
It probably had something to do with the Kiss Marvel deal. You never know. Never know.
It just looks bad. And then I'm not pulling this out. That's a dead mint copy, man.
Yeah, I have two.
That thing is dead mint.
I have two copies. One that I read and one that's mint. But also, IDW put out probably the best reprints of those that I've ever seen. Because there were several reprints done. Then there was also a reprint done in that big Kiss compendium book. But the colors and stuff was always off. But if you're into reading the comic book and don't want to read your comic book, IDW put out a really good.
Is that the one that's got Eric Singer on the cover?
Yes.
That's not a reprint of it then.
Yeah, well, no,
I never did understand why they did that.
The cover is whatever, but the content in there, it's actually really, really good reprints of the original 2 Marvel. So if you'd like to read
did you ever see it? Give me 2 seconds here. You familiar with that one?
Yes. Yep. The reprints in there are not good. The colors are all messed up, and it's not a good reprint.
The time for this was just really, man, got to get back to that time frame. That was just crazy that this came out. I mean, there was nothing going on. This is like 94, 95.
Yep.
And, I mean, at one time, this thing was going for some good money. And then, of course, they reprinted it again when they went out on tour. But anyhow, we're kind of jumping
hold on,
out of
Tom,
time.
Are you sure? Is Kiss? I don't think Kiss Nation is the Kiss Classic. Kiss Nation is its own story because that's the X-Men are in there.
Yeah, you're right. But I know they put that back in something else as well.
Well, no, what they did is they put Kiss Nation inside the Kiss Rocks the World magazine. So that came out 2 times.
That could be. Okay. All right. Okay, now. You know what? Let's do magazines, and then let's move to this and some other stuff because that gets kind of interesting.
Hey, just before you do that, I just looked. The Kiss Classics on eBay, $15.
Yeah, they don't bring shit now. They were. I mean, that's one of those deals, Okay, so and I was really surprised. Now, not just with what I have. I mean, I've got a database, of magazines that I'm aware of. So even stuff that I don't own. I was really shocked that there weren't a lot of just Kiss magazines from 70, this time frame. Pretty much the only one I can find is this Cream Special. Okay. I mean, there's stuff that'll show these costumes and stuff later on, but they're from 78, 79 or whatever. This is an awesome magazine. There are reprints. I've got to be honest with you off the top of my head. I don't know if this is a reprint or not, but when I say reprints, they were reprints back in the, 70s maybe early 80s. Tons and tons of good Kiss stuff.
$150 that one is on eBay right now.
That magazine?
That magazine.
Somebody's asking that?
Someone's asking $150.
Well, they're on crack.
I know.
I mean, that's all I can tell you.
Then there's that one. It's by itself, and there's also in a lot with 2 other magazines for $50 to buy it now.
Yeah, and that's I mean, that's probably cheap if depending on what the other 2 magazines are.
Just 90s garbage.
All right, so let's go. All right, I'm gonna start as far as my magazines. I'm gonna start. I don't understand this one. This is a Hit Parader from October of '77 with the Beatles on the front.
Okay.
And I don't understand this at all. But I thought I'd show it since it's from the time frame. So you got a live centerfold of Ace, and that's it. There's no article. There's no nothing. There is, and I think it's interesting. There is an ad for that shows that a live poster, and it is called The Kiss. Is what that poster's called. But what's interesting?
I see it, The Kiss.
Isn't that weird though? How it's got that white border on it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not normal. So anyway, I don't know if they got actually sold like that or not. Got some posters, but I'm not a huge poster guy. And we get that in there with that shred in the back.
I have a crap load of posters.
Same.
I used to, man. In there, what I've got is just sitting here stacked and rolled, and I just, I wasn't enjoying them. Okay, let's see. I think I'm in order here. If I'm not, please forgive me. All right, so we got an April '77 Circus magazine. All right, it's got, who is that? Keith Emerson.
What a great haircut.
I never could stand that band, man. Even though, and I went to see them. That's how stupid.
Yeah, but hold on. Let's just look at his haircut there for a minute.
Yeah, we know it's your haircut. We see that.
What a great haircut, man! What a great haircut.
Page 34. Pretty nice photos in there. Gene and his fire breathing tricks. Got a nice ad for Angel on the back there. No, we don't care about that, but I like it.
I love that first record.
I like all Angel stuff. Well, when the original band anyway. All right. Okay, now we've got a May 12th, 77 Circus magazine with Alice Cooper on the front. And what do we got here? We'll skip right over. Okay, I think this was the first of two. With they got an interview with Gene and Paul here. Paul with his makeup.
Yeah, nice picture.
Yeah, so they had them in that one, and then the next episode or next issue. That's issue 155. This is issue 156. This has got interview with Peter and Ace on page 34. No inside information in there, obviously. Never is. Okay, now, Circus Magazine, issue number 157, June 9th of 77, with Jimmy Page smoking on the front.
Jimmy Page recently found not guilty for stealing Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah. I like how people are, they're bashing on Robert Plant from where he said, how am I supposed to remember somebody I met one time back in the 70s or 60s? And they're like, Robert Plant can't remember the 60s. Yeah. I mean, I've had people come up to me for, hey, you remember me? No, I don't, man. This
happens to me all the time.
Yeah. All right. So issue number 157, Rockwise, page 27, Peter, Chris, and Lydia. Or Beth, as she's better known.
Beth Wishes.
Even when I was a kid, that was just so stupid. Who falls for that? Yeah, you wrote it for your wife, and you named it some other name. All right, and then, crap, I lost one there. All right, so now we got Circus Magazine, issue number 159, July of 77, with Linda Blair on the cover.
Linda Blair.
And on page 31, part 2 of Kiss in Japan. Obviously, I don't have part 1, or I would have mentioned that. Oh, that was the other thing. Got a pretty cool Paul centerfold. So we got that. All right. Now, either one of y'all got a tour book? Because you probably want to hit that before I bring this up. We'll probably close with this other stuff.
I do.
Yeah, and actually we kind of touched on this tour book in the double platinum
but
episode.
Everybody doesn't watch every episode.
Okay, but so let's mention it again. It's the same cover, but there are 3 versions of this tour book.
You got it, or you want me to go grab it? People might want to see it. I'll get it. I'm trying to give you opportunity to show it.
I got to remember to bring all that stuff on the episodes.
I'm constantly looking around and I'm thinking, oh, there's something I should have.
My stuff is right in my other room. That's where all my Kiss stuff is.
That's fine. I've got it right here handy. So, World Tour 77, 78.
All right, so that World Tour 77, 78, first of all, that's like the centerpiece Kiss collectible from when I was a kid. So I finally got one, and there are 3 versions of it. The first version, it shows a picture of just the Love Gun album on the back. Version number 2 says Alive 2 under there. And then version number 3 says Alive 2 Double Platinum. And on the Double Platinum episode, we were talking that we think, or I think, and it makes sense, that the Double Platinum one was not sold in concert, and it was only sent if you ordered that tour book from the Double Platinum order form.
Yeah, which makes sense. What you said made sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's a newer collectible.
That's
nice.
Still cool. That's cool. Mine, yeah. I donated mine to the Kiss Coffee House and forgot to take it back.
Yeah, it just happened to be sitting right here beside me. So
I don't have that one.
All right, Tom. So what are you gonna finish us off with?
Yeah. So this is really just super interesting. All right. So Kiss Army news.
I got a couple of those. Yeah, I got a couple of those.
Yeah, we got the spring edition 77, and let me bring my other notes out because I didn't want to mark all over my page here. Anyway, so we've got a little blurb about Love Gun's going to be coming out.
Okay.
And also just kind of segue off just for a second underneath there, it also talks about the originals. The second pressing is getting ready to be released, and so this was in spring of 77. So if anybody had any doubts, it was not. The second pressing was not in 76. Okay, so what's interesting on this, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but the album's about getting down and getting it on. Ooh, that's slick there. And titles of the completed songs should help you take aim on that.
Have
Love Will Travel, Sincerely, and Tunnel of Love. They show also I Stole Your Love and Christine 16. And Love Gun. So basically, half the songs they talk about never even appeared on the album.
Yep. Have Love Will Travel's Got Love for Sale, though.
Got Love for Sale, yeah.
But it's not Have Love Will Travel, okay? I mean, at that point...
The chorus of the song is Have Love Will Travel.
I hear what you're saying. But they how do they not have the songs down by that point, Where'd the other 2 songs go? But then what's also interesting, I didn't because I grabbed it at the last second. Hang on. I think I've shown you guys this. I don't think I showed this on the air. I showed it on the page. But, I've got a bunch of printer's proofs for the 2014s. And I also happen to be able to buy printer's proof. Recently got it for Love Gun. There's the inside. But that's not the cool shit. The cool part is this part of it. Y'all see that?
See you, baby.
Yeah. Oh. So there you go. So there's a 4th song title that didn't appear. Now I have heard of several, not several, 1 or 2 of these things right here in jacket form.
Really?
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess if you had this, you could make it. I mean, this is jacket material.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to sell this one. Listen, I'm probably going to put this up for auction because I did not give a whole lot of money for it. I don't think the guy understood what it was. This thing sat on eBay for forever, multiple times. And, I was sitting there looking at it going, man, I just, and it still wasn't cheap, Well, yeah, it kind of was. But And finally, I just pulled the trigger on it. I mean, I'm curious to see what this thing will bring. I mean, how often are you going to see something like that?
I could never bring myself to sell that.
I don't have. Well, let me show you something else. Because speaking of that, and we're talking about the tours and stuff, and this was out of this as well. So, one of the tour schedule thing here.
Okay. Oh, I can't read that. There's no way.
Well, I'm just showing it anyway. For you, there are younger people than you that can see it. Anyway, that book that y'all, well, I think that book you talked about was correct. I know the tour book was wrong. Crap, was that the right one? That wasn't the right one. Anyway, there's I grabbed the wrong one. I should have grabbed the next date. Anyway, they've got. I saw 2 shows on that tour. One was in December.
That'd be the live 2 tour.
Yeah, still same thing to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing to me. Anyway, saw it in Louisville. Had a pretty good backup band, AC/DC. They had been in the country for about a week when they showed up there. One of the craziest concerts I've ever been to. And then there was a January 18th show here in Lexington. And, back then we used to always camp out for tickets. The first show I ever camped out for was and I'm looking for something while I'm talking, was a Rock and Roll Over show. And I think we went down, tickets were going on sale at 8 a.m, and we went down there at midnight the night before, and we ended up with second row seats.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And until Creatures, I never saw Kiss further back than the second row in Lexington. It wasn't true up in Louisville, but that's a different deal. But we used to always get these awesome seats, and so I had to. You talk about stuff that you wouldn't sell, and I have no regrets on this. I don't know how much y'all have looked in that book of mine. January 8th. That's a picture of Paul getting ready to throw it out into the audience, and then behind me, up high there, that green thing, and it's there's a picture in there of the band with can't tell if Gene's got that on his neck or he's getting ready to throw it, but there's makeup and blood all over that thing. I fought my ass off for that thing. All right, and there's actually more makeup on that than what you see on the one side, but that's on the side that's got or more blood on the other side. That's on the side of the makeup. But I literally, after I fought and got that thing, I ripped a little bit off of it and gave it to a friend of mine. So everybody, y'all want to hear a story about this guitar?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. So everybody that sat around in that area had camped out with us. Okay. That's where the seats, it's where the majority of seats went to. Back then they were Ticketron, and actually this is predated Ticketron. So if you lived in Eastern Kentucky, you could go to a record store or something and buy tickets. They physically had the tickets there, and they were all in a section. So you weren't getting front row or whatever. And, so they were all right there. And so I go to the show, and so everybody's sitting around there. I know them. And, so during the show, of course, obviously they throw that Marauder out, Paul busted it and threw it out. And so as we're leaving the concert, this guy that I worked with at McDonald's is walking out. He's got the neck. And I'm like, well, you lucky shit, and so good for him and all that. And, so flash forward to about 93, 92, something like that. And I'm back into collecting Kiss again, And so I had put up signs in the local comic stores saying, I buy Kiss stuff, and all that. And this guy calls me, and we're talking, and so I said, so what you got? And he's, I've got some belt buckles. I've got copy. I think it was the originals or something like that. I got some guitar picks. I've got the guitar that he busted in 78. I said, what? I've got the whole guitar that he busted in '78. I said, the whole guitar. And right away, my mind's going back to, well, I know who's got the damn neck, or who had the neck. And so I said, really? And I said, I'd be interested in buying that stuff, and I'm real leery about this guitar,
Right.
And so he comes over to the house, and my wife's sitting there with me, when the guy comes in, and he comes in and he's got some records and I can't remember what else. And I said, well, I thought you said you had the guitar. He goes, oh, I do. It's out in the car. And so he goes out and he comes in, and that picture I just showed you, that the body of the guitar is in that case, and it's in there with a belt buckle, and it's in there with 3 guitar picks, and he's carrying the neck of the guitar. And I'm like, so what's the story on this? And this is one of the craziest stories, and how this all works. I'm getting goosebumps now, man. I am. So it turns out we started talking about stuff, and he goes, he had actually mail ordered for tickets. He just sent a check or whatever in the mail to the ticket office, and they sent him back front row seats. He got 2 front row seats. And I'm sitting there at the time, I'm thinking that's bullshit. Okay. But this all works out. All right. And so, he said, I just couldn't believe it. He said, and he's got that picture that's up in that display case, and the picture of Paul, with him. And I think he might've had them in the case. There's a picture I used to, but anyway, I said, so where'd you get the pictures at? He goes, oh, a good buddy of mine took them, and he told me this guy's name and shit. I'm like, I know that guy, but I'm not telling this guy this shit. And this he was a real good friend of mine, and he said, okay, so I'm in the front row, and I tried to catch it, and it fell over the barricade. It's back there with security. And he said, I thought for just a second, there he goes. He's gone.
He said to just continue on.
I don't want to do it, man. I want him to hear this. It's a good story. I mean, if he does it again, I'll do it, and he can just listen to the recording. But
he just messaged. He's like, what the fuck happened? He's mad today.
I know. I don't blame him.
Says he's not in.
He's trying to text me. I'm having trouble with the phone down here. No, it's something else. What? Hey, got your message about the F-cam. I'm at work and don't have a picture with me at the moment. What?
The fuck's an F-cam?
I don't know who the fuck this is.
Hey, Jason. He's back.
Okay. I didn't lose internet. Skype just closed.
Really?
Weird.
It does
I
that, man.
Swear to
It'll
God.
probably close on me. All right, so where was that? So had he leaped across yet?
No, it's
he has not leapt across.
He's not leapt across it. He's on the barricade.
Okay. So Paul throws the guitar. He goes to grab it, and the damn thing hits the ground in front of him behind the barricade. Right. He goes, I thought about it for 2 seconds, and I just dove over the barricade, grabbed the guitar, and dove back over, diving now, before they could grab me. And he said, I come up with the thing, and he said, I wasn't feeling really good, but I had it, and he said, so I left. And he said, I knew the guy that called. Well, anyway, I'm jumping too far ahead. So bottom line, he ends up in the hospital for like 2 or 3 days with a punctured lung. This guy punctured and collapsed his lung.
Dude.
Getting that. And so he says he's in the hospital, and the guy that took the pictures comes into his hospital room carrying the neck of the guitar. He goes, here, man. He said, well, how'd you get that? He said, if you're willing to puncture your lung, he said, you need the rest of that guitar. He said, I stole it from the other guy. Stole it from the guy that I worked at McDonald's with, okay? But they were all best friends. Okay?
Funny.
So that's how he gets the entire guitar. And I'm sitting there going to myself, I know the guy that brought the damn neck, and he doesn't know that. And I know the guy that caught the neck. I said, this shit's real. I mean, I'm convinced of it at that point, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, what do you want for it, you know?
That's an interesting story. I don't really care about that. How much?
Yeah, no. I'm trying to be cool, you know. And me and this guy are pretty good friends now. Although I'll tell you something else later on too, and he'll probably kill me when I tell you this. But anyway, so you know, he said a number, and I didn't have a lot of money then, but this was well within my reach, man. And so I told my wife, I said, I really, really, really want to get this, and so I bought it from him, and. So that was the centerpiece of my collection forever. I mean, forever. How you going to top that, man? And, you know, everything was there, but about that much of the neck, or I'm sorry, of the bridge. The neck was all of the fretboard. Everything else was there. It fit. And so, you know, I got the thing reworked and put it into the frame, and that's the corner of my thing. And I guess it was in 2008. You know, we decided that we wanted to take my mother-in-law on a cruise, okay? And it was something I felt was important. Boy, that relationship has gone differently since she moved in the house. But at the time, it was a good relationship. And, you know, I thought to myself, I ain't got no way to pay for it, you know? I'll sell that guitar. I'll sell my live gold record award. I had a Blue Label gold live record award. So I'll just see what happens with that. And that way we'll be able to pay for it. So it came time to have to pay for the cruise. So I auctioned them off. And I'll just be honest with you. I don't regret selling either one. I got top dollar for them. Same person bought both. I don't know who they are. Got no clue. I mean, whoever I sent it, addressed it to, it was like a company name or something. So I don't know who's got them. But I got $4,500 for that guitar, which I mean, I felt like that was everything it was worth, you know.
Sure, yeah.
I got $900 for that record award. So there you go. I paid for the cruise for everybody. And do you know, like 2 days after I closed that auction, but I hadn't shipped that stuff out yet. And this is what I talk to people about, ethics. All right. Somebody call me a dumbass. You can do whatever you want, but this is ethics. I got a new job 2 days after that, before I shipped that off, that doubled my income. I didn't need to sell that guitar, but I had already sold it. And so I shipped it off, man. You know, I could have just easily said, hey, sorry, sales off, you know?
Yep.
But I've run into the guy a few times. We went to a few shows and stuff, but I've run into him a few times since I sold that. I ain't got the heart to tell him that I got rid of it, you know? I mean, because I just think it would crush the guy.
I bet.
But you know, so there you go. So you know,
that's a hell of a story.
Honestly, I gotta be honest with you. The way they sell these busted guitars now probably diluted the market for a real one.
Guaranteed.
You know, I don't know about taking it down that low, but anyway, so that's my Love Gun era kind of stuff there. You know,
that's a heck of a story.
Yeah.
So I tried to donate that guitar to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to let them borrow it. I said, all I want you to do is set me up to meet the band to get some stuff signed. Never could get it done. Could get it done. Of course, that's back when they didn't want them around them. So.
Right. They still don't want them around.
No, so. Probably not.
So, all right, guys, is that Love Gun?
I think so.
That's Love Gun.
Want more wax? Visit us at www.kissmywax.net, download the show on iTunes, or email us at contact@kissmywax.net.
She's been around, but she's young.
Fuck my internet. Fuck my internet. Fuck my internet.